They are singing the song of, okay, we're double duel started on attack. That's what you have to hope for. And kind of like Doug said, you're also going to be hoping for those pistols to kickstart that journey. Because, I mean, an 8-4 half on map 1 could have been turned around if they just won the pistol. We talked about it being the double sentinel composition, etc. So if they get off to the right start here, again, we talked about it, they're both sides running really aggressive ego compositions, right? You have a Cloven and Jet and an ISO and Arena. So talking about running aggressive compositions and having that entail strategy, I'm seeing 3 players looking like they're ready to go towards mid. Jet scaling down tube. I mean, I'm more concerned that Aussie and friends look like they're very defaulted for a pistol.
Let's see what happens. Yeah, they're going to say, okay, we'll read what they do a little bit here and insert. And MEOW has already tried to take everything about mid. And they're going to keep going. And there's no turret behind either to detect this right away. It's going to be the sight here from Slandy that just gives it all up. They know. Slandy has just been absolutely surprised, and now it's a reset from MEOW. Yeah, they said, okay, we're out. We got what we wanted. They're either confused or pushing a site, and now they're got to be ready for A, because it is the push onto A site for Aussie and friends.
And you saw the gears churning in Marceline's mind, like, do I continue? Do I turn around to get the trade? And that decision was kind of made for her, so she just continues onwards, right? You got debate control, but because this squad 5 strong rolls back into screens, I mean, if Marceline's left in a 1v5, will the damage truly be done? Well, I mean, Aussie and friends make it a little bit easier for her to finish the job off, but it's still a 1v3, and now without presence shown, that's where you start saying, okay, could she be behind us, is the hope.
All right, let's see some content. Let's get it. Content plays.
I mean, Spike's been left deserted.
2 dismiss, 2 heal.
Grab Spike, go B.
No Lear.
I have this Spike.
There's no time. I mean, if you make contact on Icy...
1v1 time. Oh, the timing of the look, though. Yeah, I saw that. Icy, if that was the first one, there could have been a chance to look up. It would have been a very tough angle to hit on that elevation. So, now 1-0. Des talked about Aussie and friends getting that pistol, being able to collect what they need. Oh my gosh, they were ready. They were like, team, we're pushing mid. Let's do this together.
Hyping Sin up. I mean, that's another player who was super impressive in like some of the side Swiss streams that I was watching. And I mean, when she's again playing buddy system with Icy, she was always very dependable for the trades. And now she's on the Clove where she can get a little bit more intensive, a little bit more eager for these kills. And all in all. Yeah, now they have weapons in hand, so they don't need to get too aggressive. They can wait for Aussie and friends to roll up on their site. And what is this? A new Killjoy tech just dropped, guys. The silent drop down from Belt, and the drone doesn't go deep enough to make contact. It's the entire team. Like, my question is, how is this more effective than walking up?
Because you can't hear, especially if somebody puts nest, you're not going to be able to hear the team dropping over. You can only hear the turret. So if somebody's playing on pipes, they don't know just yet. You get to explode a little faster, but I don't know if they know. It's still just a swarm of MEOW here inside sight.
Oh, it's a litter. They are definitely chomping down right now. I mean, those shots should have been enough to finish off the job. So I'll say Aussie and friends lucky to get the plant down here. Jazzy lucky to have her life because of that double tap. And yeah, and it's just extermination from Slicey rolling in on the flank to Animal supporting the sniper rifle, right? Everything comes together. They keep it very, very clean here. Even though we mentioned that really creative Killjoy tech allowed for that surprise element, the better weaponry is, at the end of the day, superior.
I like it. We're seeing the Phoenix walls and Cypher traps today, and now we got the Killjoy drop on the turret. This is neat. This is neat. We're all learning together. This is what it's about.
And you mentioned they could hear that Killjoy turret. Well, I mean, it's kind of characteristic to have a Killjoy lurk over towards A while you go B, while you go mid. So they don't think anything better of it. I'm hoping we just see that again a little bit later, maybe on a rifle round, but time being, we saw the kind of disaster that unfolded because of the weaponry. And I'm curious to see now what's going to happen when the rifle round comes in, because not just did they lose the pistols, mind you guys, over on Pro, they lost both third rounds, and that's where things went south.
Ooh. Double tap peek, and they're not going to even want to shoot from that. They say, go for the retake, go for sight. This is a pretty aggressive drone coming. Okay, no, that's behind screen. Drone comes in. They try to spot sight there, and sits in sight for just a little too long as the push comes through from AF.
You don't have better weapons. Icy obviously has to get hero operator forced up. I think you're gonna play for damage here, not necessarily to play for the round. Like I think Icy play from a safe position where you can recover the operator to do damage, but I really don't want to see a full commitment here, honestly. Like, I know you guys have been third round demons, but this may not be the moment, or maybe it is. Nah. Get the off out of there.
Too many angles, too many levels, too many people for Aussie and friends. And a really nice hit there. And this time they just put away the turret drop. They just do it. They go to site. They get a plant down. They find themselves a wood in there and make sure it's going to be on the bonus round that MEOW tried to capitalize. So you do have a few, let's say, hero rifles. They're going to keep actually buying up here since they do have the money. So MEOW's set for this one since they kind of went through that low buy round.
True. Only player. Curious if Luna sported the Vandal or the Operator purchase because she does have the Sheriff light shield. But all in all, again, we talked about the Jet, we talked about the Clove. A new dynamic duo in the making. They do outpace this utility, but Icy's slightly ahead of it, so they are going to get pieced apart, splintered from the rest. Got the opening kill at least, so it still is the even 4-on-4, but all that doesn't take the kill contract up because you got the second duelist, Marceline, to now rely upon for this exec or re-rotation. But if you rotate, look who's pushed all the way through B main. Oh, you destroyed the turret early. They know now.
Kind of that you have to look, right? It's like either push me or just play the guessing game for a little bit, wasting probably 15, 20 seconds here as they now have to rotate through with still a few inserts towards A. So looks like they will go back towards A once they clear this space, making sure that their backside is safe, but they're going to have to hit once they get in, and the util is really only going to be a smoke. So they've done a good job actually pulling that util out of MEOW here. This should be a pretty safe take. They just have to worry about the angles being cleared.
A little high-low standing mall on her turret. Back in the zone. Back with a lethal headshot onto Slandia. Over towards Nest. And no utility, no problem here, Riv. I mean, they have the Toxic Screen. That's all they need. The Decay, good. But Lydia, her Viper prowess is better. The pit popped and the 1v1. You've entered Horror Universe, but she's the one that plants and gets the kill. And it's a 3K clutch to get Aussie and friends tied 2-2.
Oh, it's that moment when you think you have them just kind of caught off guard, but completely ready for the whole situation. Beautiful sidestep from Lydia. Great capitalization on the kill there. And does get it. You're right. That was a great defense just on kind of playing around the wall, coming up, getting the kills they needed to on Aussie and friends. And the quick thinking of the Viper's pit into plant into win brings us to a 2-2 now. Is what Aussie and friend needs to be doing. Take control of the game early and run with it if you want to see ascent in this series.
And the money does kind of support that agenda as well, where Aussie and friends can pull ahead. That's why there's this kind of gamble 4-stack. That's why Sicey's searching for information here at the cost of most of those health points as she now is on the runaway. And she will get away, and now it's the entire team, right? Rotating back over, supporting. They're like, okay, well, they punished our solo defender over towards B. We think there's going to be a follow-up here. They're correct for the time being, but Aussie friends, like, yes, they have the aggressive comp, yes, they've been control the tempo, but it's been very methodical as well.
Back and forth.
Yeah.
I'm doing it again. It was like, here's a little bit of pace, and it's just to kind of get your util, get you sorted out. Now look at that lean. Say, all right, we should probably just coordinate around this Vandal. So let's stay here. All the A play here is this B play still a ruse from Marceline, making it look even better.
And that was your one hero rifle that gets dropped, and the two players that can recover it are both at 7 and 5 HP. And again, you mentioned it was all the fakes, so now you're running into Luna Fox, who was alone, the only player with full HP. And now, I mean, remaining two. Have to clutch up. And, I mean, you're not in a teeter point of any major ultimates, so I wouldn't say, like, oh, Slicey or Animal go for the save here, especially with the Guardian in hand. Maybe you'll save the Vandal or play for exits. But look at the tracking out of Marceline.
One enemy remaining.
One more. Just waiting it out. All right, so Aussie and friends are starting to find a bit of a groove here in this. Where's the threat? how much util can we get out, push and pull, and then working off one of the inserts. Really nicely done. They're getting rid of this turret drop stuff. It was cheeky to have happen. They could have caught somebody in nest or got a nice rush. If it works, and you gain a round from it. That's why you try. But they've just gone back to textbook here, playing the default map, seeing what they can get out of one side, and it never hurts to have Marceline going off on the opposite side of the map when you're actually hitting A.
And they've tried that a few times, if you recall, Marceline wrapping all the way through spawn, right? And being in that 1v3 situation. I was curious if we were going to see the cat face timeout now or after the next buy cycle, but I do like the proactivity when you are literally 1-2 off from the rest of your ultimates, and Sin and Icy, those, again, aggressive agents, have theirs online. And they're trying to answer that question that kind of we procced it. Okay, how do you change? How do you play against this deposit default kind of style? And my concern is that coming out of this timeout, I think Aussie and friends are going to change that up, right? You have the Empress, you have the kill contract that's been kind of lurking in the shadows for a while out of Jazzykins. For some rounds, she's taken out too early to use it. Other times, it's just been, team fights. So I'm thinking that could crack open the site, especially when they realized how easy maybe it is to get E control at the moment. Right? Like, they just kind of scared Slicey off, and Marceline got all that space for free. So especially when Icy doesn't have the funds to get that operator back online, that becomes a core part of the defense, especially in that player's hands. It's just, I think this is the time to change it up, and it looks like they are still kind of sticking with the Marceline lurk, presence over towards A. I'm curious to see then, okay, what does MEOW do if Aussie and friends haven't changed anything?
True. It's a little bit of conditioning from Aussie and friends, too. They say, look, we'll still have our Reyna here that created problems for you last time. Do they have the mid lurk? Okay, there it goes. We do get it from Lydia. But that's right. Without the operator, it is Blade Storm this time, so you're still pretty effective. But without that operator, a lot of this falls apart from MEOW. So how does... I was going to say Aussie and friends identify that, but really they just play a trick game with the drone, and baited out there. Jazzykins falls from belt.
Yep, again, I mentioned they haven't used the kill contract yet, sometimes because they've been getting first blooded. And I mentioned how light the defense here was over towards B, so what do they do this time? Alarm bot. So Slice gets something to swing contact off of here with this aggressive upper angle. And they're going to get caught off here eventually by the alarm bot. There it is. Oh no, Riv.
They hear this.
But look,
they hear
it's a bait.
My ult
is so good.
Luna's just so aware that that's the exact timing Riv would go for. Again, these are players that have known each other in the space. And all in all.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, blink and you'll miss it. The crunch, the coordination. We said Slicey was alone last time, not this time. Take a friend with you, take Animal, and the recipe for success and a third out of your timeout.
All right, where's the economy? I think everybody's in that middle ground right now where we're not too bad. We're going to see some gun rounds. We're going to see a lot of ults. Love that fake bait of having somebody run out of A so you can pull Riv on that timing, just like you said. They know what's going on over there. And now a mid play here. Aussie and friends look to switch it up a little bit more. You're getting a little what you asked for. No lurk this time. It goes right up the gut.
Oh, but speaking of right up the gut, Icy was also trying to stab on through. Fortunately, contingency, the follow-up, too many players to deal with. And, beautiful contact. The distraction play off of the resurrection from Sin, not dead yet, allows the Hunter's Fury to find two. Allows numbers to suddenly flip in favor of Catface, but it was 10 for
one enemy remaining.
The Fox has spiked down, though. Now the question is, where is Riv?
What
Where's
a
Waldo?
clean round with a 4K, two of those being with the Hunter's Fury. And the spike is unattended. Lunafox wants to play this for a situation where they're not around the spike. They have their back to more safety than they do to a multiple amount of angles that can be attacked from Riv. And they probably know from team calls Riv is low. So they're playing this for the plant to identify the location.
You can see Riv worried about these wraps, worried about these timings as well. With, 45 seconds when it was the 1v1 kind of under your belt, there's a lot to decide upon.
30 seconds left.
Contemplate. Heading towards A here, going to dodge a bullet for the time being. Will secure at least a safe plant if they're quick enough. You can see Lunafox making up a decent amount of ground here for the time being over towards Snowman. And I mean, again, just looking back at how he got here, the mine reads have been, like, on point, right? Meow want to get aggressive down mid, Aussie and friends do it at the same time. We talk about the A bait, you know, expecting Riv to come through. Lunafox handles that as well. And it all comes again to Lunafox to clutch out the round. Recon Bolt back online. You mentioned Riv low HP. Double shock darts can make quick work of that as well. Which I think is why Riv's realizing maybe I shouldn't tuck away in a corner near Boiler. Let's get away from the action.
Planted behind?
Standing ahead.
Oh, planted behind. So this gets a little... Oh, the shoulder. So now they
Elbows?
know. And Lunafox says that, wait, I have half here.
That might be attention.
Oh, but Riv is too good. Riv crept around the moment the shoulder was seen on the right side. Goes for half, thinking the space could not be gained at that time. But where is Riv? Already up top, making the solo play. A fourth round here as we start to go back and forth, like you said, from these teams just reading each other inside and out.
That just feels like justice, right? Riv gets a big brain play off of Luna's in the previous round. So again, that might push and pull that may be expected from both of these teams, not the dramatic stomp over on Pearl. So coming to the next round, it feels like, okay, hey, if they like their pretty dynamic executions this time, no Marceline Lurk, play at your side with the Leers. I love this util, right? It kind of stops that Jet Clove action from getting aggressive, and speaking of stopping aggression, Marceline finds Sin, and now Icy has to rotate over to supplement, and now an additional player's been pulled into the gulag.
Jumps forward. Oh, tries to get the double shot classic. Haven't seen that in a while. Get the little right click to blast his shield, follow up with the Vandal. And Marceline, I feel like, got word from Jazzy, said, hey, Sin likes to play over by screens, they might fake with a drone. And that Sin got dropped immediately entering the site there. So Marceline doing some work clean in the back of the site as well here. And they're just going to hold off.
Save angle, yeah. Was wondering if they would try to cover. But a little bit too deep over towards Raptors. They just have to take these two Vandals forward. So just a blip on the radar. That round one out of the timeout here. Again, it's difficult when you go from such a complex map where you had like stark understanding of like the give and reclamation of space into Icebox where it can just boil down to a take simulator. Who can win these fights?
Yeah.
And right now, Austin friends, I was worried that after a stomp like map 1, they wouldn't have that confidence behind them. But like you mentioned, they know when to kind of shift mentality map to map when they are as stone cold veterans as they are.
Yeah. So that I love that you mentioned that, because then I want to see MEOW. It looks like they might start to dart forward, take that space, use the bounce shocks to clear out the maze area.
There's the molly. There's there's so much there if you're noticing when the round starts. How do you get past
I just want them to fight for it more and like almost trade that util that Aussie and Friends needs to use to get in. Not as much, obviously, but figure out a way. And they are going to try to take some of that space and say, hey, we are here. It's not going to be as easy this time.
Yeah. Avoid the HP. Nice, some additional information off the drone. And there's also a change up. Look at the commitment. Both players rotating over.
Yeah, I was gonna say they break up and they look for everybody right away. They're like, okay, that didn't work. Let's just back up. Let's just back up. Still in sight, though, so they have not fully given it up, and they are still going to leave Animal over here to hold them. Ooh, wow. College util out in that moment and still just going to pop everything off here. As Marceline goes towards the top side, looks for another one, and does get it onto Lunafox as they continue to trade.
And I like this. They realize, okay, we were mowed down when we passed through the toxic screen. Let's play in front of it, around it, off of its waviness, and then push through once the toxins have dissipated. And now, I mean... yes, it's disadvantage, but it's still a 2v2 on site itself here. And unfortunately, you want to keep both players alive, so the trade makes this a 1v2. Riv does have the lockdown on the line here. Does have information about where Animal is, but this all feels like, again, bait for Slicey. So hopefully you don't re-clear Rafters. Oh.
I think they saw Slicey's gun in that moment, too. The peek out was a little too far to the left. Wait for the fake plan again. Now to play the spike.
Are they not falling again?
Oh, what a spam! What a spam with the jump! Oh my god! Riv comes up huge with 2 kills in the end of the round and shuts it down for another round for Aussie and Friends.
And this is why the team is called Aussie and Friends, folks. That's your player from good old Australia. Coming up, serving up a clutch that, again, will keep Aussie and Friends firmly in the lead, while that was played near perfectly, I'll say it, by the side of Catface Val. And it does feel like, I mean, again, some of these rounds come down to these really winnable situations, and then a fight doesn't go your way. Like, we look back at Slicey against Lydia in the Viper's pit, right? Or we look at that moment, the spray through the wall doesn't quite connect. And you can't punish yourself for that. You're playing good Valor. Even now, they're doing the adaptation we asked for. They got past the util and find the opening kills. But look,
Oh my
again, they
gosh.
just trade them back. They claim the space. Aussie and Friends just take simulator, and you're about to get your 7th.
Can't be mad. You see MEOW trying to fight forward a little bit. Get those frags. Just get a little more util. Get some armor. Make the resulting push harder.
Wait.
And here Sin may actually have timing on the other side. Nobody's really reset for this. You do see Slandy trying to hide from it, but may eventually peek.
One enemy remaining.
Pew, pew. 1v2. Ruse is up. Your Ruse is up. And all of that. I mean, Sin, I liked the sprinkled flank, especially after you show presence on site. But again, it felt like they were a little bit too deep on the engagement to retake the site. We're getting punished already before Sin was in position to find more than that opening kill. And I felt like it was also just to more deal with maybe the Hunter's Fury that was instead playing from Nest on site anyways. So, in Aussie and Friends, it feels like they're playing this like with a very ranked mentality. Like, again, micro-coordinated plays, go A till it fails, and it hasn't failed. It's 7-3. And
yeah.
Okay, maybe don't go hit A until it fails, because MEOW's changing things up every round, getting closer and closer with the Viper's Pit.
They can still go A.
But there's a drone, you're double duelist, you're spiked towards B. We'll see.
I mean, this is the way they left Marceline last time. And Empress would sell this even more. They do have both moving forward, though, to clear each other, check each other's angles. They work right past the bot. They're going to go deep into sight here.
Oh, no, Animal.
The timing? The timing? Oh, they didn't even move past the wall. I don't think they called the timing of the wall. And that is just a miss from the side of MEOW right now. Aussie and Friends are definitely going to go B on this one with our Marceline opening up 2. Almost a kill in mid here by Riv as well, and they have the call on the rotations, OB.
And then 3v4. You have Riv holding the cross, the rotations. The Viper's Pit, just the extra layer of security here. And, I mean, finds the kill on the Sin. It feels like it's all coming together off of Marceline and this problematic entry over towards B. And a Fox 1v3 here. And you got the Hunter's Fury making its way to safety behind a toxic screen. Ooh, I mean, it's getting close, but even then, you're gonna have 2 swarm grenades to worry about Riv from Snowman. There's no time left to write home about, so looking for kills on your exit. I think they're gonna backstab. Yep, by Lydia. Yeah.
It's like, wait, I hear something. And then there's a B.
Yeah,
and I love that you
B.
made the point that it was a simulator, so B hasn't really been seen. It was very laxly held. They weren't defending it as much, expecting the wall to maybe put some people on yellow, but not to walk through it. And that's exactly what Marceline does. They say, you know what? We haven't been here. Let's see how much we can take for free. And that was such a smart thing.
And I also love how Marceline on this Reyna is more enabled, it feels like. Because the Des mentioned, okay, the Yoru, you're expecting kind of cross-coordinated plays with your team. Nope, this is Feast or Famine. The Marceline show that's only gotten kind of, I would say, an extension because of the Empress. Oh, especially when Sin's finding kills like this, especially with the Hunter Fury is making an encore too. Oh, speaking of encore, Sin, back from the dead, Look, for the time being, looking, and I don't know if they're going to find it before that timer expires.
Opposing team running. Almost shotgunned as well. Empress up here may be used. Yeah, they know there's more. Oh no, the daggers for the drone, the kryptonite.
I mean, Deathcam gets so much information there, right? You jump out with a shorty, they know now that you're there.
Yeah.
Reyna, the drone shows the Sova's there, so there's 2 here, which is why there's 3 strong for Catface to fight off this Blaze Storm from Icy. And it could work out in your favor, but again, it's just Marceline.
What beautiful use of the Sova dart there. Marceline acting instantly on these shots. Crack shots left and right from Aussie and Friends right now. An Animal, again in this position, knows it's going to have to be a push forward to get one of them just outside the ultimate. Oh.
I mean, especially when it's Slandy, right, with Hunter's Fury. You know she's going to play her life. She can play that from almost anywhere on the map, virtually.
Yep.
If you even need it, Lydia gets a little sandwich, and I mean, Aussie Friends end off better this half than they were worse for wear over on Pearl. Up 9-3 here. And again, there's the double duelist mentality, but we had similarly met by, again, this, you know, start double controller on the side of Catface. So we'll look towards Catface and, again, their pistol record maybe to help get them out of this hole or at least start that comeback journey. But look at that. It's 6 rounds in a row. You've already used one of your timeouts in the first half.
Yeah.
It's too early to, you know, count our chickens before they hatch, but we're getting close to incubation time.
They're ready to hatch here. And, oh my gosh, the momentum here for Aussie and Friends is incredible out of that half. So if it can, like you said, if this pistol can go the way of MEOW, I think they can almost have the same type of run here. Bringing in this composition where Ice can go crazy, but not this round, not at all. And the momentum fully follows here into pistol.
No!
That's going to be a flawless, and MEOW face is cut deep.
If I may, I'll go in first.
And if there was anything we could improve, right, from the first half, it felt like Jazzy was, you know, a little bit quiet. I mean, yes, you're 12-9, that's because it's a 9-3 half, but there was some first bloods that didn't go your way, you know. The fact that you open up like this, fighting alongside Marceline, is huge.
Yeah.
And the knife kill on top of that, again, we talk about resetting your mental. I mean, you lost 13-5, now you're coming back 9-3 and getting double digits right at the gate and a knife kill as the cherry on top. So 7 now in a row. I'm kind of surprised we didn't see Stinger Forces out of Catface.
That's a very good point. Maybe, I mean, they can't even really build up for an off. Slicey would be the one kind of going for it, and the money's not too much greater here.
On the attack, Icebox? This early?
You have nothing left. Icy needs to open some things. They might need to.
Honestly, first half,
tough.
them getting it in the third round might have messed up the economy, so they couldn't have it later on the defense.
That's a great point, because it didn't return on invest too much. So
yeah, got taken out too early. But all in all, I'm surprised at how smooth these deposits have been. No contact made. Look at this, the timing, the first kill trade off the classic. I mean, this could start, you know, breaking down. Slicey's in a good position as soon as turret hopefully would drop. Got some kills over towards the A site. My concern is your spike is still in spawn, guys. So gotta regroup. They probably didn't think they would make it this far, to be honest. And now they're like, wait a minute, guys.
yeah,
We gotta do something.
mid still held. This could be a kingpin lurk from Slicey here.
30
Turret's gone.
seconds left.
They start to lurk up a little bit. The timing is perfect to distribute Aussie and Friends to more of a retake positioning in the backside. And they can hear this running. They can hear at least one person coming back.
Oh, and you see Riv doubling back, tripling back, and they still are going to be the victim of a headshot with this eco plastic weapon. And I mean, all say they've gotten spiked down with a 4v4. There's a possibility.
Good.
It's shrinking.
Few shots in. It is very
One
much
enemy
so
remaining.
shrinking. Lydia, he just sideswiped Slicey there. Shots into the void, into the mist. And they're going to clap down on Sin there. Riv gets another one. They're getting their ults online if we're even going to have time to use them here. And a defuse coming in for that kill contract.
Yeah, some impressive team fights kind of set up there, but again, shots don't go your way, and meta weaponry gets leverage on the side of Aussie and Friends to get their second round. But we talked about, okay, they ran the risk of not buying up the Stingers, so now they do the full kind of buy here. I'm surprised that we don't have more full shields considering they got the spike planted. There they come. Thank you, guys. And with that should help out a little bit, especially when you see Lydia, you know, eyeing the Outlaw purchase here. The rest of the bonus kind of, you know, supplemented by these Vandal purchases. They want to close this out here and now. They know they got map 3 ahead of them, which was a double overtime the last time these two teams faced off. So this is far from over, but this round could end quick.
Ooh, great response in the moment. Feeling really no pressure, knowing it's just going to be a bit of a lower buy here. Looks like MEOW is going to be able to find themselves at B, but not with the space they want just yet.
Enemy remaining.
Okay, that'll open it up.
And I mean, that's hopefully get the blood flowing, right? Icy had 6 out of 11 of the first
Spike
bloods
planted.
over on Pearl. We had a quiet map too. So now a flawless round is a great way to kind of instantiate confidence in your squad after a 9-3 half doesn't go your way. And I feel like the last time these two teams faced off on Icebox, I want to say it was the Aussie and Friends old composition. So they're also kind of learning again how the double duels is going to function, and it felt like they were very expectant, right, of that push out from Marceline and Jazzykins over towards Garage, and they handled it very well. Again, flawless round. So that makes me think, okay, maybe we'll get the ball rolling here a little bit. Maybe there's a 9-3 comeback somewhere in the snow, in the avalanche that has to be uncovered.
We get the snow, get it rolling down the hill so it can become that avalanche. They go forward with the drone, but it's going to be all the Killjoy utility to start to separate, to start to deny that space to come in with Icy. So, oh, that was early. Okay, never mind. I thought that was going to be activated off the dash, off the push. They still get a little bit of util out, but it's all sorted out now, and Aussie and Friends don't have those crossfires anymore they would have had on the initial push. Slicey looks like they'll get clotheslined here, but just dodge out on that, but only for a moment.
I mean, but now you know where 3 of the players are, right? You saw 2 in spawn, you saw 1 boiler, so this now enables Icy to say, I can comfortably push up 2 snowman and take a 1v1. Now realizing maybe I can take the 1v1, but I not win it. Luna Fox saying, I can win mine, and gets punished for it. That's called instant karma from Jazzykins, first and foremost. But you got 3 teammates, hopefully, to hold things down, especially when time's ticking away. And all that to say, we do some tomfoolery, but all in all, a pretty well-rounded round there for Catface Val.
That was the literal snowball in a face.
Oh my gosh.
Right there. It's just like, bam, got you looking.
That was so funny. Again, they know each other.
Yeah, right. All in good fun.
Yeah, we get a replay of that.
So yeah, they get cleared, the orb goes up. Wait, the gas went up on the bomb, but then they took it down because I think they were saying, no, don't put that up, we want to defend. So there was actually a bit of miscommunication there on the defensive Viper utility being used. Interesting. A push towards A here by Aussie and Friends as they start to get themselves out. And we'll see if they can make the space useful for the people at B to let them know it's going to be a lot of pressure.
It's so interesting. We had A take simulator out of Aussie and Friends, and we see the consistent B lean out of Catface. I mean, Icy just very confident clearing these spaces. We saw the instantaneous updraft to yellow. They made a lot of noise, but using the poison cloud, I don't think they expected Lydia there, but again, classic and hit, not much you can do, so able to get that kill nonetheless. They claim the space, but they are so worried about a stack or a reflood here. They've kind of like faked the deposit. Okay. Or just bolster the defenses, set the bodyguards up, and defend the plant till you die.
A little bit of rotation around. Looks like Jazzy is going to get some damage. No, everybody will stay B. Looks like that's the exit.
Yeah.
As they still protect the spike. A nice job here by the side of MEOW to continue some pressure, push. Oh, getting a little antsy there. It doesn't look like they'll take too much damage on this, though, as they have low health bars to clean
One
up.
enemy remaining.
Okay. Well, not as clean as it could have been. Only 2 players walking away. Yeah. I will say, in Rives, I think it was like American GC debut, or NA debut, like their sheriff was off the charts. Like that was the player to look at. So
yeah,
the fact that she gets 3 there, huge. And now we're talking about, okay, you know, Catface took their time out in the first half. Aussie Friends still have 2 in the back pocket. So a very proactive approach at 11-6. You've lost 3 in a row once Rifle's gotten Catface's hands. It feels like it has to be revolving around, okay, how do we counter this B play? Because you've tried just, you know, running it down with Marceline and Jazzy. That didn't quite work. So I'm trying to think of how else can you counter a B execution. Maybe get some mid play going. I mean, Jazzy's walked through A every single round. They don't have like Animal lurking there because Animal has been such a heavy fragger for their team. She's usually there, and it's usually Slicey playing for like the late lurk, late flank. So I'm wondering if those are the kind of like intel they can start abusing and coming up with a strategy during this timeout around.
I wonder. I mean, because if you have Jazzy getting up that early, that far, oh my gosh, 8,300 credits on Icy just going for a blade round. Probably a Vandal there, but they're so rich. If you have Jazzy going that far, yeah, do it. If you have Jazzy going that far, then maybe the drone, maybe the the sonar right away can be saved up, right? You use that for the B take, you use that for the wall. They seem to be giving up a little bit too much space towards yellow, allowing that to happen right away. Here it looks like they'll maybe fight a little bit more for B main, or they're just setting up the util. Yeah, they're setting up the util to back up.
Like just from a screenshot the minimap right now, it looks very similar. So I'm curious to see what the change-up's going to be. Could be a full commitment to just a refight flank again. Maybe this time with, you know, Slandy at your side. Or maybe it's going to be just like rotate faster once Slandy gets under Fury. Looks like the former could be true here. Spicy though is also a lot faster to get to tube this time around. So changes on both sides that could affect the outcome. But another change, Liddy fighting forward here, not respecting like that yellow space that you mentioned, Rivington.
And they have 3 from behind. If they can just hold sight for now and let the calls come through. Old Slicey's ready to activate too. Once the sight hits, they're going to destroy that turret, and hopefully out of sight, out of mind, they don't realize that flank's coming through.
You also will have Hunter Fury, you'll have the kill contract. Everything can collapse inward on this B execution. But you mentioned it, that unaccounted variable Slicey ready to act. Lucky to be alive. Smattering of bullets. They're actually fortunate enough to be pulled into the kill contract because then they get full HP. They get a fair 1v1 and they are going to win. And now, I mean, look, Marceline was late.
Enemy remaining. One enemy remaining.
Tries to get there. Was looking for other fights too to see if anybody was rotating out of sight. Now the 1v1, and that's an overhealed Sin right now versus Marceline. Coming through full and healthy. 2 Leers to take this space.
Oh, and there's really not many safe angles as well to resurrect from if you're Sin in the situation. Marceline going all the way for the stick, and unfortunately that's not what you wanted to see coming out of that round, coming out of the timeout. Sin able to get the clutch through the 1v2. And again, Aussie Friends played that fairly well. It was just Slicey that kind of cracked things wide open there. You saw Marceline, right, going about her business, still going towards green and garage, confident that Jazzykins would win that engagement. And then when she lost, she realized, wait a minute, I have to go clean that up. And that kind of delayed the entire kind of disconnect between the player that was already on the B site that Sin was able to overwhelm. So, all in all, I mean, 9-3 to 7-11 here. Okay, I mean, this is looking convenient, and if aggression across the map to keep them pinned to B side isn't working, what do? Stack the site on an eco. Especially with a Bucky and an Empress. That could be spicy.
Let's see how they move from here. Looking like they were going towards B as we get this back up for you quickly, and there was actually going to be a very big force of Aussie and
I mean, we can only imagine, right? Look, there was a deep dart. It's probably not going to see anything towards A, so you're expecting to be this B exec. Alarm bot contact will be made. Maybe you just like crazily swing. All in all, I just love the anticipation of this screenshot, right? You have 4 players B main staring down, or sorry, 5 players staring down 4 players. Like, this could go south real quick. I feel like this is like you pause it. What happens next? You decide.
Yeah, and they have slight confirmation that it's at B as well, or because of the sonar bolt over at A. But to look at this game, if we take a step back for the side of MEOW, they had a match yesterday on Lotus versus FlyQuest, or well, yesterday when they had the match versus FlyQuest. It was yesterday, yes, 24th, where it was a 2-9 first half, right? Or
I think they said it was an 11-2 comeback at one point.
An 11-2 comeback overall.
I'll fact check myself right now.
Yeah, on Lotus there. So this is not out of the question that 3 more rounds come into the favor of MEOW, and they're able to link back up at a tied game and push it all the way.
Yes, it was a 2-11 comeback. My random memory when I see a random tweet comes in clutch. Oh, and yeah, no, this is a team that's resilient. I mean, I always bring this back up because I just love, like, that, again, she was able to tough it out. Animal, even during the Swiss stage, was able to, like, tough out a really hard match while being sick, for crying out loud. So, you know, in sickness and in health, this team is side by side, hand in hand, even down to the play style. And we were worried again, the 9-3, but I'm glad you mentioned that because it is it's a good point to bring up here, that they know how to tough things out. And, I mean, I'm just left wondering, that eco round, like, that needed to be won. It was 7-11, you lose that. It's 12 now you gotta win 5 in a row. Like, it should be a winning round, but you also had a trap set up on B. You remember how a trap set up on B went over on Pearl? Not very well. And that was, I believe, one hero rifle in Marceline's hand that cracked things open. And what did we leave with? It was a Bucky and an Empress.
Yeah. And Aussie and Friends timeout here is kind of just, we'll see what happens with where they're trying to lead this, with if it's for their few rounds ahead. They want to be able to close out this game, and they've had control, I think, of mostly that first half. And we are seeing that MEOW are able to control the second, which isn't looking good for Aussie and Friends here, facing elimination. That pressure is on. They're one map down and only a few rounds away. It feels like it's so close here. Just hit that first shot, and then the round starts, and you're kind of thinking, well, I don't want to be the first one to go down. So you use util, you play back for retake, and then the retakes aren't going your way. So I think Aussie and Friends need to come out strong, keep playing that A control where they're figuring out what MEOW is trying to do. And I mean, we're seeing the B strat come out here, so we got to see how this ends.
That is a really good point. I don't think we've seen like a standard retake out of Aussie and Friends, right? It's always been 1 or 2 players pressuring the flank.
No, you're right.
Right? It's always been Slicey interrupting some of these rotations. So I'm wondering if, okay, you disengage from A, you go through a safety of spawn and play retake with your ISO and with your Reyna. I feel like, think about it, right? Yeah, you have the poison cloud, but like the contingency could really make some space over towards yellow, could help like dislodge Icy from these aggressive positions. That could be a strategy I would like to see personally. I mean, think about it. This composition, the old one, was running like a harbor, right? That is like prime like Reckoning B retake in my mind for this map. So it feels like it's a strategy they would be, you know, at least attuned to trying out. But obviously, it's not the composition that favors it as much as that one, but it means that there's some muscle memory there that could come in, especially if, like we just said, okay, you've had players push through A and keep them pinned B main. That doesn't work. You've had pushing down B long. That doesn't work. We just saw, as we enter the tech pods, 4 players stacked on B. Obviously, it's an eco. They could try it with full rifles, but that feels a little troll.
Yeah.
So then what else do you try? A full-blooded retake, safety from spawn.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you almost have to, right? You go through them. I mean, there's no util you can really mess with on this map, right? For the side of defense, you can't move up, and I mean, you can if you go for the turret behind, but it takes a lot to actually get there, and you hope to have a free avenue down B or up mid, so that's kind of scary. So yeah, you're right. You have to go down the list. You have to figure out what to do. Their retake still looks really good, and I actually love the way that they pushed around from A with 3 the one round.
Yeah.
And they had all that util to just make sure that the site was seen. So, like, if I think if you can identify where MEOW is, how fast they're pushing, it becomes a lot easier to say, okay, wait, we don't need to use util here. They are going to take this space. It's very reminiscent of what they did a few rounds ago, kind of thing. Because MEOW loves to only condition a few rounds and then do something different. So it's hard to pin them.
Ooh. And like pop back to A. That is scary because, like we said, that one thing that's been unwavering is that Marceline and Jazzykin's push up, and that's how they won the opening 2 of this half, right? And that's why MEOW started leaning towards B. So, all in all, scary prospect to change what's working now. But again, we mentioned you're going down the list. They're gonna find a fix eventually, is the idea. But outside of that, try to think about what else.
No, as we get this sorted, I can always look forward to, if we're looking where we are in the tournament. Obviously, this is a lower round 2. We had a game earlier today where Ghost was able to basically take out YFBX in 2. They have been looking crazy here and almost on a lower bracket run fashion. So whoever wins this game, this series will be facing off against Ghost Gaming in that. And you still have the upper final of Shopify, Rebellion Gold, and Wadada. So, like, the power in this tournament is still very, very scary, and we're even seeing here MEOW and Aussie and Friends jockey on each other's maps just to get to this third one.
And it is super, super nice as well to see these free agent teams, right, in vying, I should say, for the top 4, right, with your YP, your Ghost, your Fly, who was already eliminated, and your Shopify Rebellion. So it shows the scene. It feels like it's healing almost. And all in all, we get to get them back into the action. Spoiler.
Let's go.
Oh my god, MEOW won the round! That's what we needed to see! So 5 in a row. Oh my god, the operator. That's a change we didn't account for. That's one box that was left unchecked in our form, Rivington. We might have to get audited.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, Marceline with the op, a little dismiss opping. They're still going to try to play towards B. Empress on right away, looking for any shots to be tagged and healed. Wait, that's a glass cannon op too. Oh
You're
my
baiting
gosh. Oh my gosh, the glass cannon op jumps out again for another one. Oh, especially on the not dead yet. Quick dismiss out. They're fine there, healed up, and they are going to give space though. So we talked about Aussie and you talked about them just going for the spawn retake, but now they're going to be up one to do it. And Sin is down, but Icy evens it out real quick.
Yeah, I mean, even if Icy hadn't gotten the kill, right, you have the advantage of site control and the Viper's Pit, so it becomes a little bit more difficult to retake, especially with an operator in hand for Marceline. But look at this, right? You have the lockdown online. Lunafox used the Hunter's Fury on the opening, so there's resources to flush them out here, but I feel like Animal is just waiting to proc her lockdown as well, and there it is to secure the round. So at this point, if you're Aussie and friends, do you cut your losses? Do you save? And I think that seems to be the call here. Maybe I'm trying to you saw kind of maybe just checking their backs. I lied to you. Spike hadn't even gone down yet. Ooh. But
I'm telling you, an Odin from that position at Snowman can be deadly. Nobody gets to plant if you have one. There's actually a little bit of wall you can pen, or a lot of walls you can pen a little bit to the left if they plant under. No. Here's the other lockdown you were talking about. And now it's going to be a retake on the site. The Viper's Pit might give them a little bit of room to move forward here and figure out the positioning for once they enter in, once they collapse. They know if you are stuck behind the wall and in the corners. And Animal starts off on Marceline here, so we got a 3v3 in the Spike on defuse.
Slicey takes the risk to get detained to keep the pit up, so the snake bite would be killer, but they nearly have almost stuck it all the way. The pit is down. Jazzy goes for the stick, but it's the wide swing from Animal. The 3K to clutch out the round and keep MEOW on the road to recovery with their 9th. What?
Some say she's still swinging. Holy moly, Animal comes out strong on that one. Again, yeah, just absolute
the final kill on the Spike.
From the Animal themselves.
How close was the bar to defuse? That's what I need to know.
Oh, that was very, very close.
Are we rewinding in slow-moing? I don't know.
It was close. Just know that.
That's all we know. That's all we care about. And now we're 2 rounds separating where it looks like they've gotten the wind under their sails, or more specifically, Icy. The jet into their dash with the blades. First kill. They finally have gone A. We were wondering when they would go A. Maybe they did on the eco, who knows? But this looks okay for the time being. But Icy shot out of the sky by the sheriff of all things.
Getting a little crazy on that one. Is MEOW really going to make this happen? They lose one. Is that gun? No, it's not picked up yet. Aussie and friends are going to go ahead and make quick work of another member, though. Marceline with the sheriff looks to get to this Vandal just a little bit closer. Is it an outlaw, though? They're not going to be able to do anything. Lunafox on 2 starts to bring that hope for Aussie and friends here on this sheriff round back down.
I was so nervous. I know during the tech pause, I was like, they can't throw a Thrifty. They can't lose an eco. And we were just staring down that barrel in that 4v2 with the pit up and prospects, so it's actually challenging it. But all in all, right, this is going to, yes, give them a safe B plant, but it's going to give weapon upgrades, ideally to Lydia and Riv, to rotate back over and play this. Riv, no shield, low HP. It feels like it's kind of even across the board here for how this B retake's going to go. Minus time to collect the weapons, of course.
Yeah.
I don't want that.
I don't know as an outlaw. That's why I think when we saw Marceline move to that position, they were like, wait, nah, I don't actually want that. And the sheriff was held. So yeah, quick.
And the blades dived in with the outlaw.
Let's see what happens. Yeah, right? I didn't even think there was another gun for Icy there. Here they come up through mid. On either side of the box. Trade in. One trade, or one kill, sorry. And there's another one. 11 to 10. Lunafox has just been astounding in this series as well for the squad. From playing different agents on that initiator to bringing in the frags for the squad, and really what they need here on the important rounds. They are 1 away from tying this game up, and they have flipped the script. We're seeing why they love Icebox.
7 in a row. Again, you mentioned it's their pick. Lunafox, by the way, I don't know if they're the founder of Catface, but I think they've been around the longest next to Slicey. So the fact that they have been that kind of safety net, you know, I think that was like the second 4K they've gotten in that fashion. Looking back to Hunter's Fury 2K from earlier. And I love how we had that brief intermission over towards A. They got dicey. They still end on B. So now the magnetic draw back to the B site. We toyed with the attack operator when Icy was rich, and now it comes out.
What?
Not to their
No.
avail.
Like that? Not like that. Don't do that to us. Lunafox is going to get taken down too. This could be the round that puts Aussie and friends on that number 12, the dash-in operator of all things to yellow. And this crew already can smell the rest of MEOW moving up B-long.
Yeah, I mean, the majority of rounds, Lydia wasn't challenging yellow space. I think there was only one round she did, or the eco where she rescaled across the poison orb. But all that to say, Icy's picked that operator back up. They can't rotate because of the players. I do like that Sin and Animal are trying to clear that together. They realize they might be caged, but I don't think they understand what they're signing up for here. Even if you get that kill, why would you clear this corner? See? And that's Spike.
Spike down, attacker spawn.
Yeah, that's too tough.
30 seconds left.
And they're just looking to figure out where the headshots can be grabbed here. It's going to be a very tough round. Slicey finds one. There's just two on the back that can help each other here.
Player standing.
All right, Slandy makes it even tougher. And this should be another round. It took quite a bit here, but Aussie and friends get themselves on a game point. It is going to be quite a bit of money here for the side of MEOW to still buy in, to still use. But it's a chance to push the third map and keep the series alive, keep themselves in the tournament.
Oh, and that's so sneaky. The right-click classic through the wall as well. I was thinking maybe Slicey gets the kill on this Slandy, goes recovers the operator, but honestly, I don't want them to have that operator. That's what kind of messed up their groove, honestly.
Yeah.
In that round, but oh no! Again, that was clean. It's like previously we talked about. Okay, Marsing with the operator picked it up B, found one, got out. That wasn't quite enough. So what do they do this time? They stay around, they get two, then get out and play the retake. And I feel like they kind of figured out how to counter this B execution. Catface has figured that out. So without even like needing timeout because they don't have any left, they are going to try this A site and could all end right here.
Oh, the toes! Oh gosh. Marceline gets hit. Icy's going to take all the space again. I think Icy only has a W key, and right now it's actually getting punished. Oh, Marceline and Jazzikins have the aim to start off the site take, but Sin says, I will back you up.
Actually didn't get the kills, but does their job off the Hunter's Fury, makes the space. Sin, the follow-up is perfect off the information. Lunafox now playing off to catch off the flank. They realize, okay, we don't have our Killjoy animal up in the action. It's huge that the kill contract misses now because it's just Riv and Jazzykins. Not much utility to work with here. Oh, but can't get overzealous, guys. It's now a 2v2. Sin? Don't pick those engagements just yet because Lunafox has the high ground, and now you kind of had a constructed high-low. Or you can just play down the time together. Off-site.
Defuse. Oh. Meddling in the wrong defuse, are you? Sin gets another one. 3K there for the side of MEOW for Sin. And they stay alive. They stay very alive here. And that is 2,000 credits across the board for quite a few people. Not a good average. And it is going to be some low buys. But we are going to see MEOW push Aussie and friends to their final timeout. The final discussion here before we either go OT, map 3, or MEOW sends Aussie and friends home.
Oh, Riv, I've had too many fake comebacks like over the already the main event stage, right? Like we kicked it off like obviously Shopify YFP. There was like a 7-1 that came like down to double digits. We had one in the first series, right? That ended up being 13-11. Like, please give us an overtime. And I mean, this is a team that I said if we went to Ascent, we were maybe warranted an overtime, right? I mean, again, this was a map that was 13-6 the last time these two teams fought. But again, that might have been the old composition. So Aussie and friends, they regained their footing. Marceline 22-19 has gone crazy. And Aussie and friends saved the timeout for this exact moment. So what's the read? What's the change? Because it feels like the change is like, again, they did what they had to do. It was still just a hit or a miss of if that worked or not.
Oh my gosh. We're actually going the distance with this one. I love it. I love it. It takes a lot to be at this moment, especially for Aussie and friends, backs against the wall and a possible elimination here. Just to find one more round, and they're going to go ahead and be aggressive for it, Zobi. on almost both sides. They're going to start taking that space on B for once, too, as Marceline starts off on Animal. And they have to worry about the last lurk, though.
Oh, Slicey, you've got to clear this corner. And she does. Riv this time not quick enough with the draw. VC Sheriff is no more, but Slicey is also no more. Lydia, good for the trade there. So loose end taken care of. The lurk player gone. And this is a new look. MEOW was never explored over towards mid.
They were running real fast to B as soon as Slicey got taken out. They said, okay, maybe mid. Jazzy with the close Spectre win on that fight in the first kitchen play. All the way through here. We've seen a bit of a tussle in a moment, one of the rounds, but to go all the way, the spike has diverted. Okay, they're moving back.
Oh, Lydia
This
knew.
is gonna be it.
Yeah, they identified the weakness. Again, it's the 1v4 required. If they get 3, they'll have an extra life for the 4th, but can't even get the first. 13-11 when elimination is on the line. We would have it no other way, as we will be heading to that decider of Ascent.